A golden new era for the Jacksonville Jaguars will begin in a little over 24 hours when the golden locks of Trevor Lawrence officially become a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's glorious, both the hair and the draft pick. There's no drama or debate here, but don't let that distract from just how cool this is and how special this is, because that's what Trevor Lawrence is, special. He's one of the greatest quarterback prospects in NFL draft history, following the likes of John Elway, Andrew Luck, in terms of scouting a quarterback on Saturday and how they project into genius on Sunday. Lawrence is dreamy, and he can and will do it all. And it's Urban Meyer's first ever NFL draft pick, and let's make sure we hit that home too. I love Urban. He is a Mount Rushmore top 4 all-time college football coach. He's a winner. That's going to translate into the NFL, and he's going to maximize Lawrence, and he's eventually going to win big in Jacksonville. The Jags are loaded with picks. You see it on the screen. They also have a late first-round selection and the top pick in round number 2, so they can add a stud receiver to help Trevor, a pass rusher, or an offensive lineman. And this draft also has major depth at the cornerback position. But it's all about Trevor Lawrence teamed with Urban Meyer. This is going to be the combo that leads Jacksonville out of the wilderness. It's a Super Bowl combo, a winning ticket. Give it a minute, Jags fans. With Meyer and Lawrence, this is the start of something special. No, the Cowboys aren't trading up for Kyle Pitts. And no, Jennifer Aniston isn't returning any of my telephone calls. Jerry Jones and I can both dream here, but reality will set in. Dallas is in a superb position to help the weakness of the team, defense. There is a very realistic possibility that the first 9 picks in the draft are all on offense. Dallas picks at number 10. They should be able to get any defensive ball player they want, and that means Patrick Surtain. He is a stud lockdown corner with bloodlines, NFL bloodlines. And by the way, he's coming from a great school coached by the great Nick Saban. Look, Dallas never recovered from Byron Jones walking last offseason. The Dallas defense last year, deplorable. Now, Dan Quinn was hired as a defensive coordinator to fix it, and he's a major upgrade over Mike Nolan. But they need cats, they need players, they need dudes. Look, if Patrick Surtain is gone, Michael Parsons, a great choice, but there are some character concerns. I think taking an offensive tackle is also a great selection as well for Dallas. Listen, got to make sure that Dak is protected and Zeke has room to run. Dallas went for the flash last year with C.D. Lamb in the first round, and I loved it. It was a great pick. Dak got hurt, things fell apart. But now Dak has a new deal. The offseason is going to be more normal. The receiver trio is great. Mike McCarthy, got to remember, is actually a great offensive coach. Dallas can have one of the best and explosive offenses in the NFL. I know Jerry is antsy. Last year was a mess. Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat. And don't, at the end of the day, think about flash and think about a pass catcher. They need defense, defense, defense. They already have the sizzle. Now Dallas needs to build a ball club in order to win. If they let the draft come to them, take a breath on Thursday night, the draft can be a huge win for Dallas. Bears general manager Ryan Pace says he is ready for any scenario. But is he? It's still kind of remarkable he's still making the picks for the Chicago Bears after the Mitch Trubisky fiasco. Of course, a trade-up is in play. It has to be. Andy Dalton was signed as a stopgap. And once the rest of us stop laughing, you remember that he's QB number 1. Heck, I still think Russell Wilson wants to be in Chicago, and a trade next offseason when the cap hit for Seattle goes down, I still think that's in play. But Ryan Pace knows he might not be around for that. So, not hyperbole to say, he could be GMing for his job. Trading up for Trey Lance or Justin Fields could be in play. I would argue it should be in play. That would make a ton of sense. And selfishly, for Pace, it might buy him some time. Now, if he stays at 20, it's almost a real fear for Bears fans because they could actually draft well, like a legit receiver or a solid lineman or best player available on defense. And, you know, that player could be good and help Chicago win 10 games, make the playoffs as a 7 seed. Again, good enough to keep Ryan Pace around, not good enough to be good enough. Ryan Pace signed Mike Glennon for gobs of cash, then traded up for Mitch Trubisky, second overall. He did that all in 2017. 4 years later, the Bears still need a franchise quarterback. It's wild and insane that it's still Ryan Pace in charge of that decision. Okay, we have a trade, a major trade right before the NFL draft, as the Denver Broncos have acquired Teddy Bridgewater from the Carolina Panthers. This gives the Broncos options. Couple of things here. Teddy Bridgewater and George Paton, the new Broncos general manager, they've known each other forever. Paton was number 2 in the hierarchy when the Minnesota Vikings originally drafted Teddy Bridgewater in the first round. Now, Denver has the 9th overall pick, and I've been screaming they must draft the quarterback. I still believe they must draft the quarterback. If Drew Lock is the answer, I'd love to know the question. Now, it does give them some flexibility here where they might not feel the pressure now that they have Teddy. They don't have to trade up. They don't have to give up extra picks. They can consider taking an offensive tackle. They can consider taking somebody on defense. But even with this trade, and you know I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan, whether it's Minnesota, whether it's New Orleans, heck, even when Carolina signed him last year, I still believe the Denver Broncos need their quarterback of the future. In fact, if anything, what I would do is draft Fields, draft Lance, let them learn from someone like Teddy Bridgewater, who is the epitome of class, great guy. I still don't think Drew Lock is long for this world. Listen, if they end up not drafting a quarterback, Teddy will beat out Drew Lock. I'm telling you that right now. But I would still draft a quarterback at 9 if I'm the Denver Broncos.